Work right for me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another episode of Failed Hero Points and Adventure. Wow, I've been thrown off by Davy already. A streaming show of a bunch of dudes playing the Outlaws of Alkenstar Adventure Path on the Pathfinder Second Edition system. Wow, I basically got like Billy Bob Thornton. It was sling bladed. Yeah. That means
I think it's
Take the wrong
I think
time
it's
right there, my
Thunderblade.
computer.
yeah. So, uh, hi. How's everyone doing tonight?
Yep.
A little bit not so great. I can't get the page to come up.
Wonderful. That's good news. Definitely tech problems. Good. Good way to start everything off for today. Well, not a full house today, so far. It might expand to such later. Who knows? I don't, and that's a problem. With us currently, we have Moorbird playing Inari the Psychic, Effigy Drums playing Adriel Swordsborn the Bard, the Davy playing Varilla Azast the Swashbuckler, Shave Maddox playing Jacksonius the Gunslinger, and Patrick playing Kelvin our Inventor. Let's just get right into it. What happened last time? Ooh, puzzled faces. No one
I would have
remembers.
jumped in sooner, but I landed on a B in my improv,
Oh,
and I'm
jeez.
playing something in A minor, and I meant to land on the C, so I had to bend it up to finish the phrase. But now that that's done,
Doing it all.
I'm still not very good at finding my notes without looking. So, you know.
What
But,
do we do here? I'm trying to remember.
Well, I think it was 2 episodes ago, but the end of 2 episodes ago into the start of last episode was the rescuing of old Wrangle, who was about to hangle from...
Oh boy.
Keep going.
He was about to dangle from the hanging, and so we rescued him, got rid of them bad, corrupt shield marshals. We asked him what he was in for. He said murder, but of course that he didn't actually do it. And it turns out, kind of seems like someone was trying to just get rid of him because his last job was getting ingredients for Imbrium. Wrangle is just sort of a, not necessarily smuggler. I didn't get the sense that what he does is illegal necessarily, but he procures. He's a buyer. He gets people things that they need, and kind of seems like he was getting ingredients for Pyronite, and that in itself isn't illegal, but he's trying to be hushed up and killed. So we rescued him. And then we asked him, well, what happened with those ingredients? And he said, well, he delivered it to Dash, who is his in-between, who we last saw at their dead drop spot out in the desert. So we went out to the desert. We found Dash eventually. She was like, oh, yeah, yep, my guys just went off with the goods to make the sale. They'll be back in a minute. They came back, except it wasn't them. It was a bunch of clockwork skeletons or clockwork zombies or clockwork dead people. I don't know. And we fought them. And of course we won. And that's where we are.
Because we're the best.
Yeah, I forgot. I didn't even mention all the awesome things we did, but it was super epic and incredible.
Yeah, to really give you a taste, there's one person who is currently unharmed. Everyone else is like real bad off or has been healed so that they're not as bad off as they once were. So, yeah. Cool. That was a very thorough description of what happened. A hero point to you, sir.
Thanks for letting everyone know that we actually aren't very good and that we roll like terrible. And then when we roll, and it's worse.
I mean, that's the name of the show, so.
If I remember, it was last session, this session, where I just like walked up the dice, like 2,
Yes.
3, 4, 5, and then I finally got a hit. Like once I got to 9 or something.
I think it was like, yeah, you had a random not walk up, but you walked up from like 1 to 4, and then it actually picked up in a separate game that we play later.
It sure did.
That was distressing in a lot of ways. Yeah, so you're in the dead spot, a bunch of black sand, like in a half-mile radius all around you, essentially. And yeah, you're surrounded by undead corpses of horses and the fools who ride them. None of them currently have heads on their bodies. And Dash had run off, saying that something wasn't right, and is like off in the distance currently as you guys wrap up this fight. What would you like to do?
Is Dash actively running still?
I think Dash is like, you see her and she like is running and she looks over her shoulder. She's like, at this point, gosh, we were pretty decently far in. She's like, I don't know, a quarter mile away. Right? Like she's halfway out of the spot at this point.
I know. I'm finally gonna do it. I'm gonna use one of those cantrips.
Oh,
I've had
yeah,
the whole
there it is.
time. Bullhorn.
Uh-huh.
This is the everything is okay alarm. I will bullhorn in a 500-foot radius as long as everything is okay.
Well, I mean, a quarter mile away is further than 500 feet.
Well, look at you, George Washington, knowing your how many feet are in a mile.
Well,
It's
I
still a
rewatched-
sound.
I watched both of those sketches this last weekend because they are both quite good.
Nobody knows.
how many rounds was our battle?
What was that?
How many rounds were we fighting? Like 4?
It's a very good question. I don't have an answer.
So
But-
that's
I
like,
think it was like 4 or 5. It wasn't a
that's
quick
like
fight.
30 seconds. This guy ran a quarter of a mile in 30 seconds.
Well, okay.
I mean,
25
people run a
feet
half mile in
movement.
like. People don't some
I
people run a
don't.
half mile in less than 2 minutes. I mean, it's hard, but
Yeah, some people do.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
like if a 4-minute mile is like, isn't that still like the world record or something, or no?
I mean, it's like 350 maybe now. But yeah, it's 4-minute miles
Oh.
about.
Like the fastest
Fastest.
person in the
Quarter of a
world,
mile
though,
in
right?
30 seconds is a 2-minute mile.
Hmm
Okay, all right. Times.
I can see how she got her nickname.
But when you're only running a quarter of a mile, you don't have to keep that pace up.
Okay, all right. She's within 500 feet. There you are.
Yay!
All right, well, we'll let her keep running until she gets out a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All of this math by people who. What do you think the fastest mile out of everyone on this call is right now? Probably Shave.
I don't know.
Didn't you just run the marathon? I mean,
Distance doesn't equate to
doesn't
speed.
mean
I did like a 7.5-minute one.
Recently?
No, when I was in high school.
Okay. I mean, I never did a 7. I don't think, but
UV has joined us. Who
yay!
typically plays,
Oh, thank you for letting me know.
our cleric. G'day to you. Welcome.
good morning.
I thought you were to be in a different city.
That was my plan, and then I woke up.
I see.
So I shall be traveling in at sunrise.
That's all right. Welcome. So we just recapped. Everyone's hurting, and Adriel has bullhorned to Dash to. You gave the all clear, right?
Yep, I gave the everything is okay alarm.
And you see her stop, and it's like a cartoonish stop off in the distance, where a plume of dust comes up because you're in a bunch of black sand. So it's just like, and you just hear her like coughing in the distance. And she just kind of looks back. And she starts just kind of you see Shaka Red Hair just like slowly walking towards you.
I get everyone lined up to provide healing.
I can also cheese some lay on hands.
I can do some splody heals.
Yeah,
how,
Borderwood could use some lay on cheese.
how many people can you ward at this point? Is it 3?
Excellent question. Let me double check.
You're a master in medicine. You can treat up to 4 targets.
Okay. Everything.
Oh, you're not a master. You're an expert? Doesn't seem right.
Are we level 8?
Yeah.
By the way, I pick up whatever gun I had on the ground still.
You got it. This would be a good time to remind everyone to make sure that your skills are updated as much as possible.
While we're waiting around and healing, can I take a look at each of the dead foes and maybe see if I can pick up who sent them?
Yeah.
Maybe examine the clockwork.
UV, I have you in my path builder as having taken master in medicine, so
Yeah.
just you didn't change it, so that's all.
Apparently not. All right, I have done it now.
So you can heal up to 4 people at the same time. So you're looking at the clockwork. Well, they don't have any clockwork skulls on them currently because they all threw them at you and exploded them. So.
Oh, that was a nasty ability. I forgot about that somehow.
Are there-
skeletons?
Are there pieces of the clockwork skulls?
I mean, it kind of just was like shrapnel. That's why it hurt you all so bad. You can still like check out the bodies. They did have a bunch of stuff on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do that.
What do
Yeah.
you want me to roll for that?
Well, just look to tell me that you're doing it, and then
Okay.
there.
I do it.
Okay,
Really
cool.
good.
Great.
Yeah.
So all of them have an arquebus, a longsword, and are wearing full plate armor.
Holy crap. How many heavy armor users do we have? Only a war priest?
I'm not sure a war priest even wears heavy armor.
They don't by default, but they can.
Yes. I'm saying our current one. I don't
Oh,
think
gotcha. Yeah.
does.
Yeah, I never thought of it before, but yeah, we're kind of a light, medium armor party, aren't we?
Yeah.
I'm going to take my 52 points of healing.
That's not a small number.
Then who's... let me check.
That's why I was so curious about the
Yeah.
master not being there, because you get so much
Yep.
of a boost from treating wounds. So
Yep.
because now it's 2d8 plus 40 on a success for good eye.
Calvin, take 52 points.
2 more.
Jacksonius, obviously my father.
Also 52.
Yeah, also 52.
I think.
And you're welcome. And then we'll start with Ruxel next. Because Vrilla can get the hell out of Dodge faster if they have to.
How long does the wounded state last?
until your
Uh,
wounds are treated.
Yeah, it's cleared as soon as you treat wounds, so you should be good.
Sweet.
Fogel, could you apply the 52 to Ruxel's character?
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of the headless horsemen here have saddlebags on them as well. Looking through those, you find two like small bits of like
Beef jerky.
severed fingers, right? There's like two severed fingers in there. And then four things that look like clockwork skulls.
Two severed fingers, 4 clockwork skulls
Uh-huh.
in the saddlebags.
Yep. As well as something that looks like a journal.
The clockwork skulls are what they threw at us? Or, I mean, that was their own heads, obviously,
I
but
think
That's a good
these
question.
are additional.
They're you don't know.
so
Should I do a crafting check on those? Or may I?
Get to it,
Interrupt-
inventor.
is it like occultism or
Interestingly enough, not gonna take crafting.
Should I do a clockwork check on those?
I can do a knowledge religion.
I think we should just put one on, Kelvin.
Oh, hey, I'm Skullhead.
Kelvin and Verla should take another 21. Actually, if Ruxel needs more, Kelvin, Ruxel, and Verla should take another 21.
Ruxel's good.
Okay. And then Davy.
Davy.
Oh, you did. Davy, excuse me. All right. I will.
She's still pretty beaten up, but she can live.
Yep. No, I mean, if are we going to be here for 30 minutes?
If we've done 20 minutes, I can also give Davy another lay on hands in that time. So let me just do that real quick.
Makes sense.
Do restoration.
Oh yeah, and you can do a restoration in that time too.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff.
Nice.
So, Davy, go ahead and take a 24 and a 25.
All right.
Verla's doing awesome.
All right. Party's back up. Excellent. Would a knowledge religion be useful on these skull bits?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure would. Here in the chat.
Ah, there it is. Excellent.
I'm gonna do one more searing restoration on myself.
Loosh. Gira, you're not sure about this.
All right.
Oh, can I identify magic occultism?
Oh, you sure could, yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, occultism makes sense.
I probably wait a chance to get my let my stupefied expire, because that only takes 12 seconds.
You also don't know what it is.
It's a
Dear
skull.
Lord.
Mhm.
Adriel ain't smart, but she'll try.
The skull of our Lord.
Mystery dice, mystery dice.
Okay. Adriel, you think that they are just like clocks Skull
Didn't
clocks.
even get the skull bit.
You see the clock work, and you're like, "Ooh, skull clocks."
Pretty cool.
Hmm.
So
It's identify magic, so it's any magic thing that you've got.
I was gonna say, was it supposed to be in the chat? Have we done Arcana or no? What's it?
Those are all. That's all hidden.
I'll do an Arcana check.
Wait. Yep.
I'll do it.
You're also uncertain what that is.
Can I do another check for a different skill?
We're bad at this. I feel like all of the casters have gone and have failed at this point already. So I don't know. Maybe we just have to figure it out later.
I'll give you one more.
Nature?
Nope. Well, nature is. All right. Okay. There's the nature check.
Nature for
recognize
primal
these-
magic, yeah.
Well, if you're doing nature, I'm doing nature.
Okay. So, nope. Here, Garrett, I already has it.
I recognize his face from the X-Files.
Uh,
It's Scully.
Morbird, you rolled a 19, but your +2 to that roll doesn't really help. So, these things are, in fact, skull bombs. They are crafted entirely from metal plating and clockwork gears. Slots easily into a human skeleton in the spot where an ordinary skull would normally be located. While performing a create undead ritual, you can attach this skull bomb to the target creature in place of its own head. So that's what they did. The target creature can only have one skull bomb attached in this fashion. And then they gain that throw skull ability that they had.
Oh.
So these you can still use as a bomb.
We can throw it. It doesn't need to be attached to an undead.
You can throw it. It's two actions. It throws any point within 30 feet. The skull explodes. These deal 7d6 fire damage in a 15-foot burst with a reflex save.
Dang.
That's like a fireball spell.
Yeah,
Hey, Chuck.
an item version of it.
Oh.
And then I forget. Do people cast detect magic normally? Of you casters?
It's one of my exploration activities.
Yeah, but is that an exploration activity that you typically do?
Yeah, me. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gry does.
Then after you identify the skulls, you remove them from your casting of detect magic, because that's something that you can do. There is still magic pinging within your detect magic
The
zone.
fingers. Are they magical fingers?
Is it I? Do I see I?
That the thing is, you don't know what is pinging it. You just know that magic is pinging. That's how detect magic works.
Would you want to do a medicine check on the fingers? That's weird. Just have two fingers. And it might just be two fingers of someone they killed, or it might be something else.
I'd be happy to peek.
I'm also going to make sure that I am hitting. You're at 3rd rank spells or 4th rank spells currently?
Fourth.
4th.
Okay. Then you do know that it's within the 5-foot cube that the fingers are being held in.
Okay.
They're magic fingers.
Can we?
Uh,
Can we
and
try
that
to identify? Oh, sorry.
they are level 7, the equivalent of a level 7 item.
Wow.
Hmm.
I'm reading up on detect magic myself.
Sure.
It's fully heightened, so you get to know the rank or level of the most powerful magical effect the spell detects, and then you pinpoint the source of the highest rank magic. You don't learn the exact location, but can narrow down the source to within a 5-foot cube.
And suspecting it's the fingers, I then move it to a different 5-foot cube, and the detect magic follows it, I presume.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You just chuck the fingers in 2 separate directions.
Yeah. Do we do a separate? Yep, I was about to ask.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Garai,
Yeah.
how many magical fingers am I holding behind my back?
Inari, you're not sure what's going on with them.
Oh, I'm
Uncle.
so good at identifying today.
Uncle, I'm afraid I am unable to give you an answer to that question.
You're also not sure.
The one thing I'm good at.
Oh, there's an actual failure effect with Identify Magic now. That is, you've
Oh.
just failed to identify the magic and can't try again for 1 day. It's just if you fail that check, so you can't try again with another one technically. So now we know for the future.
True. Anybody else? There's no
I'll
harm in-
try. I
harm
basically
in
have to nat 20 it.
Father, you are brilliant. What does your mind think?
Adriel? Nope.
Brilliant in
I
what?
figured.
Not a critical failure this time, though.
These fingers, Father. What do you suspect they are?
I reckon they're
Varilla.
fingers.
Varilla. Yeah, okay. Well, you know everything about this. These are 2 talismans. Called Grim Trophies. You affix it to armor. It is a free action to use it. The triggers to if you attempt to coerce or demoralize with an intimidation check, and you haven't rolled yet, you have to be an expert in intimidation. When you activate the trophy, choose 2 targets and compare your intimidation check result to both of their DCs. So you can intimidate 2 for the price of 1 free action.
Oh yeah, bro. All these. That is cool.
But as a talisman, it goes poof as soon as it's used. But each one of these is 110 gold pieces. And now all of those items are in the party ledger.
Sweet. I think we have 2 intimidators.
Yeah, Ruxel and Varilla. Let's see, we each grab one.
Uh-huh. And I would guess the skulls maybe someone who doesn't have a ranged attack.
I feel
Or
like those
some-
are also good for Varilla, like being dex-based and not having ranged otherwise. I mean,
Well, the skull you don't need dexterity. You just pick a square, and it's a 15-foot burst.
oh, there's no actual attack roll associated with it.
Right. The enemies make a reflex
Yeah,
save.
it's a reflex save.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Basic save.
So yeah, I would say that should go to like a melee character. So like Kelvin and or Adriel.
I
Something
feel like
like
it'd,
that.
You have to throw it though, so it's gonna use Dex.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It still has to be thrown. It's just that once thrown, it's reflex. It's not a. What are the mechanics of it? It's not an attack roll, but
let me make sure on that.
There's a point. It says choose a point within 30 feet, and then it's a 15-foot burst.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
guess it's not a toss at all. Huh.
yeah, I feel like I mean, Calvin, if you want it, it's yours. Explodey clockwork head kind of sounds like a Calvin special.
I mean, I only have a +2 for Dex.
It doesn't
so-
matter.
Okay.
Yeah, again, you don't. It's just a throw it and it happens.
Okay.
We have 4 of them.
Yeah, there's 4 of those
Oh, there are
things.
4. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, might as well take one too then. Sure.
Anyone else? We have 2 more.
Really, really wants one, so I'm gonna take one.
Take it.
It's Varilla. She wants it, definitely not me, the player.
Should we give Calvin the remaining one unless anybody wants it? Sounds like
Sure.
nobody wants it. Okay.
I took
Yeah.
it.
And then I presume my party members' existing guns are better than the Jezzail?
Yeah, that's the Jib sales have been in there for a session or two.
For a long time. Yeah, these things are.
think
What they had were arquebuses.
That's what I thought. Okay.
These are for selling, I'm pretty sure.
That makes sense.
The
And
striking.
you look at them, you feel like they were able to strike you really hard and accurately, but there's no runes written on either the arquebuses or the longswords.
Hmm.
So do we think we
So
could
the
add a
ruin-
rune?
The runes are on their bodies. They're etched into the bones.
Mm, not quite. Not quite wrong though.
Maybe
That's
they're
fair.
just good
Can
at what
I-
they do.
Can I study the corpse to see if I can understand what magic is animating them or anything like that?
Knowledge religion.
Okay, coming right up. Religion. And blind and go.
Yeah, you're pretty sure they were just normal people. They're just dressed up
Okay.
in skull clothing.
Okay. The other thing I was thinking is doing I don't remember the name of my ability, but one of my skills that like senses the memories or emotions or something like that.
Resonate psychometric something or other.
Yeah, read psychometric resonance
Yeah, that's the one.
to see if I can I don't know, get a sense for like why these guys attacked us.
Hmm.
I probably not. So
Is
it's
that how that works? It's more of like the feelings of like.
yeah. There's no. Is there any significant emotional resonance in any of these guys? Such as the joy from a child's beloved teddy bear, the sorrow from a widower's wedding ring, or the fear from a victim's murder weapon.
Okay. So you found a journal amongst the belongings,
I forgot to read the journal.
Oh yeah.
and it you get like this feeling of confidence and then like a tinge of like uncertainty on the like suspicion almost on the edges of it.
Oh, so the journal is exuding suspicion and uncertainty with my psychometric resonance.
Along with the confidence, yes.
Okay. Huh. Okay, well, let's crack that sucker open and read it.
So the journal, you crack it open, and it's from one of these named Jessie, and she in it details
Dear
part,
Diary.
like it is a dear diary essentially, but she's journaling what happened on the trek, and you read that she along with the others had gone with Parsis, feeling very like they're all good at what they do with transporting everything, but something about Parsis just gave them all like essentially the heebie-jeebies. Yeah, she refers to him as a light-skinned, light-haired Dampier. And knows that he is a like as they're going through, he has mentioned his affinity for necromancy. And they took all of their stuff to the Gunworks. Alkenstar's Gunworks. And it kind of ends with them hitting the Gunworks, staying for the night, and getting a bad feeling about Parsis.
Okay. So to recap some things, Parsis is the necromancer. The name of the necromancer, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and he's important because we found his name in connection with Lovelace. Or he bought the Pyronite recipe.
Kind of both of those things.
Okay, and these four cowboys were hanging out with him, and they went to the Gunworks to stay the night, and that is where the journal ends.
Yes, essentially.
Okay. And they were hanging out with Parsis the necromancer, who likely is the reason they're skeletons now.
I think that's
Is the conclusion I draw?
Yeah,
that feels safe. Yeah,
that's outside of the realm of possibilities.
So it seems like the railroad is training us towards the Gunworks.
I mean, it's not a railroad. You can go wherever you want.
There's not going to be any story or events there, but
this
Not ones that I've prepped, but I can look up some shit if you want.
This seems like the appropriate direction. Yes.
If you would like an open world game, we can talk about Kingmaker.
Okay, so roll initiative against Fantasy Hobo.
So, do we have more things to talk about with the lady who owns
With
this
Dash.
ranch?
With Dash.
No, Dash has been just like weeping over her friends.
Watching us loot all. staring
not-
at disembodied fingers for 10 minutes.
I'll go over to her, Fogel.
Uh-huh.
Are you injured, or is it just an emotional wound?
She looks up at you, kind of confused, and then like clocks that you're not quite made. You're made and not like born. She's like, I'll be okay. It's nothing physical.
Do you know who would have sent these to end you?
I mean, I have a sneaky suspicion of who might have done it. Perhaps the guy who looks like he's a dead person who makes dead people.
Your s-
Yeah, I don't know that there's any mystery here that this was entirely Parsis's work.
you know, Garai just wanted to be sure. Then you may find shelter with your food-loving companion, if you wish.
Yeah,
The fat one who was being hung.
maybe I'll go. Yeah, Wrangle. Yeah, no, yeah, yeah, I guess so. Maybe I'll just, I don't know. My partners are all gone. I think I'll just. Maybe it's time to retire from this sort of life.
Won't someone think of the cows?
No. Maybe I'll just be only a cattle herder. Maybe that's the smart plan.
There's always money in the banana stand.
That's much different when you say there's always money in the cows. It's like, I'll be fine. Just, I'll head back to Alkenstar with my cows.
Bring them all into the bar.
I give her the name of the bar to visit if she needs some place to lay low.
Thank you very kindly.
Tell them that my father sent you, and I point over at Jaxomius. They will treat you warmly.
Phoebe won't mind the business.
Bunch of cows just drinking beer in there next time we go in.
Hey, listen, they're paying customers. They're paying customers.
Average bar that I go to, anyway.
Clockwork cows. Yep. So she bids you farewell, rounds up the cows, and starts walking out of the spot.
Fairly well,
Back
Dash.
towards Alkenstar. And you guys, okay, what is your plan? Again, it's not a railroad, it's more of a lead.
Yeah. To the gunworks.
All right.
Did we want to get anything? Do we want to? Are we resting or are we just heading? I don't know how far. UV doesn't know how far away it is.
Where you went to was about halfway to the gunworks.
Gotcha. So it would be.
So it's
continuing
another
on down.
day and a half or so.
Okay.
Oh, that's a journey.
Oh yeah.
Should we go? Should we go get the airship?
Well, it's a day and a half by the carriage that you guys took. If you go back, then it's a day and a half, and then you hire an airship. and
Save
then
time.
You go, I guess, another day. I don't understand.
This would clearly save us 5 hours.
It's like that dilemma between taking 5 hours between everything for a 1 hour flight versus just driving.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's a day and a half in the carriage, we can rest on the way.
Yeah.
And so and we just picked up a bunch of consumables as supplies. So I don't think there's a reason we need to go back. To Alkenstar.
Well, okay. I will also say this. Pretty much, there's a lot of you that are Alkenstari natives. There is like a full. The Gunworks is a big fortress. Okay, there are supplies that you can purchase at the Gunworks. In fact, the Gunworks not only is a giant fortress that has a giant ass cannon on top of it, the second largest cannon in all of Galarian, called the Maw of Rovagug on top of it. It also is the where all the like guns that Alkenstar is supplied with are forged.
Okay, so this is a gun manufactory, a fortress, and there's a town around it.
It's Bullet Town.
Yep.
And is it associated with the Shield Marshals?
Nice.
There is a Shield Marshal garrison there.
Okay, but they don't like run the whole place or anything like that.
I think it's it's like privately owned manufacturing, right? It's not state run.
It is state run.
It is state run.
So,
Okay.
Here, I'll give you some extra context. So here is the map, and you can see where Alkenstar is and where the Gunworks is. Okay.
Okay, and we're halfway between them somewhere.
I pictured kind of like a little, pretty much like halfway up the river there, but south, maybe like 25 miles, something like that.
Okay.
The Gunworks is essentially. I'm gonna actually get this whole thing out here because I have a big old thing on the Gunworks because the Gunworks is neat. So the Gunworks was formed by Ansel Alkenstar, essentially as a forward outpost to try and take care of things that might threaten the city-state of Alkenstar. It's kind of developed over the last 100 years to really be that. Like, that is where they'll send out parties to go out into the Spellscar Desert to find creatures of ill repute that they've run into, and then they will fire the Maw of Rovagug upon them, and completely obliterate them. You would know, as anyone who's from Alkenstar would know that there's a market. It's kind of like a black market, but it's more of a gray market because it's not completely frowned upon by the people of the Gunworks. It's not condoned by the government of Alkenstar, but it's not like condemned. There's a saloon there. There's a stockyard. Then there's a whole manufacturing section. There's a garrison tower that's there. There's usually about 100, between 100 and 125 shield marshals that are there at any given time. There's also 2 towers that are there. One called the Tower of Metallurgy, and the other the Tower of Engineering. The Tower of Metallurgy is where the alchemists and metallurgists of Alkenstar try and devise new alloys and explosive compounds to use as weapons and ammunition. while the Tower of Engineering are where the region's best engineers design and construct large guns and siege weaponry for Alkenstar's holdings.
Sorry, can you show that map again real quick? It was
Yeah.
froze up. Thank
There
you.
you go. It is also on Lake Ustrati. There is a dock that is there. It's not completely isolated, but it is a fortress where they are very well protected. You would also know that the Maw of Rovagug is on its own separate tower within the complex, and can go complete 360, aim wherever it wants, and it can shoot. It has a range of about 50 miles.
Dang. I'm not
The
joking.
tower itself, there's not really anything inside there because the entire tower is like the clockwork mechanisms that lift all of the massive ammunition rounds up to the cannon itself.
All right, well, let's go commandeer that sucker.
Ours now. It's a
I want
weapon.
to shoot Tarask.
And I've got tamper.
So, yeah, that's a lot of what you know about the gunworks. Oh yeah, it is the person in charge of the garrison is essentially the person in charge of the gunworks. But you would also know that because of the three different towers that are there, the garrison tower, the metallurgy tower, and the engineering tower, there's kind of a head of each of those, and they all kind of are they all think that they're the most important point of the three prongs that are there. Okay.
Head out.
None of our characters have been there, it sounds like.
Well,
It
we
doesn't
went
feel
there on a field trip in elementary school, but
Some of you are from Alkenstar, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Anari is at least. I think
Okay.
all of us were tasked with creating a backstory having to deal with one of the two main antagonists. So
Yeah. That
Probably
doesn't mean we're
locals.
necessarily from Alkenstar. I don't
Uh,
think Adriel's from Alkenstar.
I have a feeling there's a good chance Jacksonias would have visited this place before.
If anything, Adriel is from closer to the gunworks than Alkenstar, so.
Same.
Astra was from like the woods, far away.
Yeah, different continent. Okay, then you set your sights towards the gunworks and head out. And with that heading out, we'll take a little 10-minute.
okay,
All right.
see you at 9:02.
Catch you on the other side. And we are back. We've even gained an extra player. Welcome, Scale.
Hello.
So Ruxel will be manned by a human again. So, cool. You guys all take off for the gunworks, and you can all hit rest for the night on your respective characters as you traverse through the desert. In little over a day, it's probably about 3-ish p.m. When you see the walls of the fortress start to come up on the horizon. And it's like the back corner of a square. And it's built up on like this giant hill as you're coming into as it comes into view. You come closer and closer. There's just a giant hill that this is built upon. And even though it is on the other side of the fortress, you see a giant cannon there. And, well, let's show you what this whole thing looks like.
Ooh, cool.
So we're in the southeast.
Yeah, you're coming around the back, essentially. And you work your way around, and yes, the beautiful Lake Ustrati is on the edge here. You have to take your carriage past the docks area and in through the main entrance in town.
Okay.
Let's see.
Do they know that we're coming? Or do they get regular visitors?
It's pretty well trod upon. Like the gates are not like closed or anything. Like people are able to use. There are people freely moving up and down, like from the dock into the gunworks, and people just kind of milling about when you get there.
It's like a big enough area to have its own sort of supported. It's like a town, right? Like,
yeah,
there are some shops and hotels and civilians who are just like there's probably a barber and a doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That there are.
The barber's
It's actually
called.
the same person.
They
Yeah, you here for a beer or a beer trip?
it's
Yes.
it's the barber and dentist are the same person.
Are you saying dentists aren't real doctors?
Saying that they're barbers in the Old West.
There's a reason they have a red and white striped sign. It's to replicate the blood on the sheet.
Because they like peppermint candies. Because then they have to pull in more teeth. That's why they like it.
That's solid logic.
And every so often, like you're getting into town, and like you hear just a fleet of activity as you get closer in. You can hear it right now through your headphones or speakers. The clanging of anvils, people just making things, and every so often, you just hear a little explosion, something just a boom. And while you guys all are like everyone around you looks completely nonplussed every time an explosion goes off. Like this is just life to them. And you work your way into town, and there's a large building immediately to your left, and then you see the friendly confines of a saloon to your right. And the sign on the front of it hanging off says "The Last Stop."
For what I was gonna say, we can't stop here. This is gonna be the place we stop at the last. We should try everywhere else first.
I mean, if we only need one stop, it could be our first and last stop.
I suppose that's true.
I think we just need to make sure we get whatever we need done here.
I think that's a
Lost
Dave
Rock
Matthews
Road.
song too. The last.
The
Stop.
Last Stop. Sounds like a Nick Cave song.
So we know we're here after Parsis, but we don't know where he is necessarily. And it's kind of a big place.
Right.
So I feel like we need to do some hobnobbing and try to figure out what to do.
To the
Also,
bar.
this was several days ago at this point.
Right.
Like when this happened. So they either have a several days lead on you, or you don't know.
Or they're here.
Also, I don't know if we should just go around and start like. We probably shouldn't just be name dropping his name either.
You're saying your eyes should not be in charge of this operation.
What if he's just been hiding in a closet waiting to scare us this whole time? Do we hear giggling from one of the closets?
He's laughing because the doors are done.
You have a lot of projects to go into. Well, now the fortress is a gun, so.
No.
To set up a bit of a front, could I set up like a stand to repair guns? And try to pick up some chit chat?
So we're busting.
It would be maybe one of the most legitimately, like, they would look at you very cockeyed at trying to do that. Because they literally make all of the guns for Alkenstar there. So, like, pretty much everyone that's not a shield marshal is an inventor or an alchemist.
So we wouldn't be impressing too many people.
They'd be like, why are you putting up this ramshackle operation?
This seems like a place we could sell the gun and Malden if no one's going to use it, or take the runes from it.
You can sell all sorts of stuff. But
Yeah,
right
we've
now,
got
you're
some
just
stuff.
milling about the entrance.
Well, I say let's head in. At least maybe we could do a lap and see what kind of businesses are around and get an idea of what to do.
Okay. Which way do you head first?
To the gate.
To your left or to your right?
You guys want to?
Right, maybe?
I feel to the right as well. Don't know why. I'm drawn to the right.
All right.
Keep right.
You hook a right, and immediately to your left, you take note of what looks to be a kind of a bunker. There seem to be a bunch of really tough-looking people, humanoids, just kind of hanging out around it, like being very chummy with each other. Kind of like they're all like acting very brotherly with one another, and you see in there, or like up to the front, palling around with a bunch of them, what looks to be a half-giant woman. There's no obvious signs or anything off of it, just that's what you observe there.
In a normal speaking volume, I will point at the half giant and I'll say, "Father, that is the largest woman I have ever seen."
Don't point, my child.
Russ will immediately self.
Then I wave.
We've all seen Steven Universe,
I
right?
just like put your hands down.
Heard the giant woman song. On your right, you clock the saloon. And on the front porch, sitting in a rocking chair, you see a Cyclops polishing his firearms. And he seems to be eyeing you up.
Father, that is the largest eye I have ever.
Now, son,
It's like-
take a look at that eye.
I just keep pointing around and being dragged along.
As you head further in, on the immediate left, you see cattle being stowed into this stockyard. And on the right is one of the large towers. This one, let's see. This one is, you see a sign on it that just in very simple, plain common, just is written engineering. No fluff, no anything, just like above the, or like next to the door is just engineering.
Oh, is there any way to peek in? Is there any windows, slots, cracks?
Sure, you could probably peek in somewhere along there. There's no like windows or anything. It looks like it's still very kind of defensive. Like everything that's here that's not the saloon or the stockyard looks like it's built to take on an attack of some sort, if need be.
Yeah, Verla just wants to take like a peek and see what's going on, see if she can glean any knowledge of the inner workings, because, well, she's an engineer.
If you peek in, and it's the thing too, the doors, like, it's not, there are people going in and out, you know? It's not like, it feels like it's lived in, right? If you just kind of take a peek in, you see that, like, this ground floor of here is like a hangar, essentially. It's filled with large weapons of war, but they're kind of like half-built. Siege craft, if you will.
Cool.
So it sounds like, even though this is kind of an open public area, it's a little military base, like in the sense that most of it's closed off. You're free to walk by, but not go in most of the buildings, aside from like the public ones, like the tavern.
Yeah, people might give you a sidelong glance if you start trying to, you know, walk into the towers. kind of
without-
willy-nilly.
Not without the right credentials.
You come back through. And on your right, as you're going to the left, you see a very substantial tower where the shield marshals seem to be positioned. Like they are going in and out of there. That seems to be probably their headquarters. Then to your left, this long building is where you hear like all the sounds of manufacture coming from. Seems like that's where they're making all of the guns and ammunition and everything. Like that is all in there. Then here, this rectangular tower on the front, next to the front entrance, you see the word metallurgy. And then, of course, the giant tower that leads up to a huge-ass gun. Now you have a lay of the land.
All right, back to Alkenstar.
Back to Alkenstar. Well,
Yeah, this was fun.
It was a good trip.
Anybody want to try to stick to the side of some cows again?
Well, as long as we're here, I am going to get some stuff out of the bag o' holding to sell the those weapons nobody's using.
Now, is this the place that the Doolahans came from? Is that what they're called? Like the crew from...
Yes. Post game revealment. Those were Doolahans. Yes.
Yes.
We read their journal.
Yeah.
Which said that they got involved with the Parsis, who's the necromancer. And they went with him to the gunworks here, which is kind of where their journal ended. So we would assume that the necromancer reanimated them.
Yeah, you have some assumptions.
Is there any area that looks heavily fortified, like doors
The whole
shut?
thing. The whole thing is heavily fortified.
Well, like no access, not open anywhere around.
I mean, I think that's basically everything except the saloon and the cattle area.
Okay. Like no do not enter signs anywhere, anything like that.
Not like very specifically. It's one of those things that it's like known. Like they have a saloon, and the saloon seems to be where the inn is also at, and then a stockyard. Everything else, like they just don't seem to just randomly allow people in.
Guards the door kind of situation.
I wouldn't say that they're guarding the door, but they wouldn't be friendly to strangers walking around.
Unfortunately, I think the saloon or shop, maybe a shopkeeper might have a little bit looser lips with a little bit of padding.
Especially once we do a trade with them.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, you haven't seen any like signs of the market that you are aware is typically there.
Are there like guards, like police walking around, or are they like stationed at the corners or anything?
no one's stationed. It's just like there's
I mean, there are a
It's not
lot of
a
shield
huge-
marshals everywhere, right?
right.
Okay.
Think of
About
this as. Is it accurate to think of this as being like on the outskirts of a military base? Like there are some civilians and things, but it is like almost everyone here is working for the shield marshals and the state directly, or is part of the state and the shield marshals.
that's
like-
not far off. Yeah, the shield marshal,
Everyone's got a badge. Everyone's got an ID to get everywhere they're going.
Got it.
right? Like this, the alchemists and inventors that work there are working as part of the government. The shield marshals themselves make up about 1/8 of the entire population of the place.
Do any of them have the broken heart symbol that, like, obviously out in the open and viewable?
Excellent question.
You don't take note of any specific ones with that, but like again, there's about 100 shield marshals just in existence around here. So as you're clocking them, you might not be able to clock every single shield marshal as they're going through.
Gotcha. What about that group of the ones that were like really close? Were they shield marshals or just some like
Laborers
or labor? Yeah, laborers or not? With the giant.
Oh, they don't have shield marshal badges on. You're not able to get a real feel for what's going on with them right now.
Fogel, while we're discussing it, I am going to walk over to the shortest shield marshal I see and ask them where the shop is.
I see. He goes, you mean the saloon? That's the nearest shop.
Do they
All right,
sell...
sounds good.
I thank you for your assistance.
Are you talking about the market?
Ah, yes, that is what it has been called, my father says.
You must be new. You haven't have you been here before?
I've not been to most places before.
Oh, sure. I don't know how to deal with that sentence. Okay. Most of these, we're surrounded by a bunch of nerds, okay, and they like to show off when they're done with work. So usually they start like putting up some stuff, selling their goods later in the night when they're done with their shifts.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, that is what my father wanted. Thank you so much.
Right.
Right.
I'm sorry, are you a child?
I stop and consider. I have a father. So by that definition, yes.
Well,
I'm,
I was just born yesterday.
I kind of.
Okay, where's your daddy?
I point over at Jacksonius.
I'm just kind of like, don't worry about it.
He's like looking between the two of you.
Yeah.
The resemblance is uncanny.
You may know of him. He is brilliant.
He just goes, I think I'm done talking to you, and then he walks away.
I bow as he walks away.
He does not acknowledge
No, I
any
know.
of it. He is done.
The market shall arrive after work hours, it appears. Perhaps you could use your social skills, Uncle, to gather information from the town drunkards in the meantime.
Might not be a bad plan to get some info, in the saloon in the meantime, and then maybe at the market we could ask around about ingredients and things, and maybe that would give us a lead.
I agree.
Hey, you guys see anybody creating undead lately? I'm that crazy.
Basically, which of these buildings are we going to have to break into?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you head to the saloon. As you start to head in, Cyclops, who's just been side-eyeing you the whole
Hang on.
time,
Hang on.
tips
Does it
his
look
hat
like-
at.
Does
Tips
this
his
look
hat
like?
at.
Sorry, does it look like the Cyclops that we saw at the art
Oh,
show?
That's a good question.
Oh,
Hmm. A hero point for you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
He tips his hat in your direction. Goes. Turn over enough stones out here, you're bound to meet a rattlesnake.
Oh, that's how you find him.
I take out a piece of paper and I'm like writing down the advice.
But he makes no moves or anything. He's polishing his gun, sharpening it on a whetstone.
Oh, Baron.
We do we recognize him then?
I'd say yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I look to my companions to try to see if they've also recognized him. Because if not, I'll blurt it out loud.
Yes, I think we haven't seen a lot of Cyclops.
Yeah.
Cyclops.
That's how I'm feeling too.
Mhm.
That was only 3 days ago for our characters. 2 nights,
Yeah.
3 days, kind of, and
Yeah. Like
Andy
that.
beat,
it was a Cyclops.
Andy beat us here.
Oh, actually more like 4 to 5 days because there was the hanging as well.
Oh,
that's right.
That's how he beat us here.
Yeah, I told you not to. Hang-ins are just not good use of your time.
So you continue to make your way inside.
I think we should.
Yep.
And you go into this saloon. It seems pretty busy, filled with like just a lot of hardened, grizzled people, like outriders, some travelers, just like people that are like having an okay time, but like they are kind of roughshod at this point. But they're all just kind of a whole bunch of people all over this bar, relatively large, and they're all kind of just like chatting along with each other. And there's a bartender up at the bar. It looks like, where are you? I had you earlier. Where did you go? I was just looking at you, bud. How are you not there?
Oh, I forgot to say the reason Garai was looking for the shortest one was because their ear would be the closest to the ground.
Oh boy.
Garai is not great with metaphors yet.
Here we go. That's the bartender.
You know, it's a
Maybe.
good bar when the bartender has a gun like that just open.
I mean, pretty much everyone has a gun. Just like no one's not carrying essentially at this point.
So was the saloon called The Last Stop, or what was The Last Stop?
Yeah, that's the saloon/inn is called The Last Stop.
See, I was about to say they called it that because they were responsible, like about not drinking with weapons around, but the bartender is holding one.
It's more of because they're on the edge of town, like right by the entrance, so it's your last stop before you leave.
The last homely house.
So, yeah, you're in there. You can start asking around. You can do some gathering of information. You can talk to the bartender. What you thinking?
It's safe to say most people don't know who Parsis is by name, right? It's like he's an old, I forget, he is an old undead wizard from a different area, right? So it's not like, oh yeah, I know him. He's got shop
Jim.
here.
Yeah.
Not necessarily old, but definitely an undead necromancer. Yeah. Uh-huh. You're not sure if that he could be. Well, he's as a Dhampir undead. That's an interesting philosophical question. I know they take void healing.
Kind of. I mean, I consider vampire undead, so
Yeah, I was
True.
I
thinking
don't
the
know if
same
it
thing.
technically is, but
The son of a vampire and a human.
Wait, is it like Blade then?
Yeah, or Veed. Or D. That's what I meant. Vampire Hunter D.
Oh, that's what.
Regardless of their heritage, Dhampirs are still mortal creatures, according to the wiki.
There we go. What was that scale?
The guy we're looking for, he is one.
Yes.
that is correct. Parsis is a Dhampir. That's who we're looking for.
So, yeah, you can spend some time here. Roll some gather information rolls. Do some chatting. What do you want to do?
Well, we definitely need information. I'm trying to figure out how to casually ask about a half vampire who is animating the undead in a town of Clockworks without just like
Well,
raising suspicion like crazy.
sure, there's patrons, but I mean, what better way to spark a conversation than sitting down and ordering a drink? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, that's part of it for sure. I mean, kind of goes without saying. We grab a round of drinks. Otherwise, we'll look super suspicious.
Is anyone having an arm wrestling contest?
Like currently?
I mean, there are all sorts of like drinking games and things like that happening all around. If there isn't one started, you could definitely get one started.
Okay, I sit down at a table and just put my arm out. And-
Immediately, some real buff guy with like lots of hair just comes over and is like, "Let's do it."
Does he have guns for fingers?
You just shake his hand like this.
So athletic roll?
Sure.
I was gonna say, Good Eye might have an unfair advantage, possibly. I'm not sure here.
We'll see what happens on this roll. Slam, kabam, just down.
Me or
And
them?
he's just like, oh.
You owe my
Start
father one
weeping.
drink. And then you owe my father one drink.
Okay. And then he pops out a copper. Goes, Hatchet, a beer for this guy.
Kelvin,
I'd like to imagine
everyone
Garai's
goes with
arm just freely rotating around and around like a ratchet and just ripping the guy's arm straight off.
What he didn't know is I like wound it up the other way first.
It's like what's the Stallone Over the Top? Is that the one? The
Yeah.
Stallone arm wrestling movie?
Yeah.
I
Where you
believe
get-
so.
arm
Yes.
snap. Yeah.
God, I forgot about that movie. Jiminy.
Is it Mr. T or something in that too?
Hulk Hogan's in it.
I thought. Okay, I was thinking Hogan.
That old bastard.
Yeah.
Okay. You've
Kelvin
done
also saddles up to a table next to Garai and does the same.
Do you arm wrestle Garai?
No.
Alright, fine. Athletics check. As this, like, svelte elven person comes up. And you feel kind of bad about it, but you're immediately like, bam! They
Well
were
done,
not burly whatsoever. And there you
Alright.
go.
Since
They're
I
like-
won,
I figured this would happen.
you hear anything out of the ordinary around these parts?
Okay, I'll give you a boost on that. Give me a diplomacy check on top of that.
Oh, fuck. All right. Hope it's a natty. It was a 1, wasn't it? So then it's a 0, right?
It's either 1 or a nat 20. It's gonna be one of those.
It was a natural 20. Oh,
Go team.
Yes.
alright.
Well, actually, pulls out like a giant itinerary.
No, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what's the weirdest thing about town. That was a very general way of...
You seen any undead like vampire guys raising undead with that?
Come on, Kelvin has a little bit more discretion than that. Maybe not. With a -1 deception.
I mean, to be fair, you haven't started drinking yet, so maybe right now.
Okay, this person is like... Okay, y'all look pretty new to town. I haven't seen you before. If you're asking that question, you haven't heard about the strange accidents that are happening with the towers, the inventor hubs, you know, the metallurgy engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lots of strange accidents. Both sides are blaming each other. The heads of the towers, they're both they both got their heads so far up their own asses. They're smart, but they know it. They're that kind of people. Ugh.
Yeah.
They keep getting more and more like into blaming the other. It's all gotta be an inside job or whatever bullshit. Don't know what's happening. They've been trying to demand the shield marshals deal with the problems in their workshops, but Aiton, Loy Aiton, the commander of the garrison of shield marshals, nah, he doesn't want to do anything. I don't understand it. Yeah, go out. My arm really hurts.
You got it.
I just imagine this whole time you've been holding his hand down.
Yeah.
What's been going on in town?
And he slinks off into the shadows. What does Varilla do?
Oh, she was just going to ask him if there's a point of contact with if there's like not a head person, but somebody that we could gather more information on the two factions. On the sly, that is.
On the sly? I mean, you could probably... There'd be...
For many of these people in the bar, I'd assume.
Yeah, it's one of those things like there's a lot of people that work at both of them. So if you want to learn about them, all you gotta do is just like ask around. And it's not going to be unusual to ask around about them because they're well-known figures in the gunworks.
Gotcha. Just like the Redding mining mission from Fallout 2.
Just like that.
Yes, exactly
What an
like
obscure
that.
reference.
I do love me my Fallout 2.
It is a good game.
Was that
So that's
even
one that-
3D?
Information. That was isometric 2D. Top down. Okay. You have learned one little bit there. What you do next? What you doing?
Adriel would like to use some of her actual character background in scrapping and getting, spare metal and parts and selling it on the, markets and places like this, and ask around, saying that, she's kind of got a supply. She knows of a few untapped wrecks, airship wrecks and whatnot in the area where she might be able to get some good parts for people, and ask if anybody's been looking for anything, a little more unusual lately.
Does Adriel want to take Kelvin's 2 cold iron chunks as a bit of a...
Sure.
This is what I've
Bargaining.
found.
Yeah, just like I've got some of this, I've got others. Anybody out there
What do you need?
looking for something other than your, just typical standard slag metal that goes into the foundry?
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Roll me. Well, let's go with a diplomacy check on that. You don't find anyone that's like willing to part with any
I
knowledge.
tried.
And you're not sure if they're not willing to part with information or if they just don't have any information. It could be either, really.
Have a dance off.
I was gonna say I can do party tricks.
Set up in the corner, put your hat down, and just commence the jiggling.
Actually, it was Adriel was the one doing. What was it in the corner at the spa?
Yeah, in the Steam Palace, was it? Yeah, she
Yep.
was doing
Yeah.
Demon Kingdom.
They had like the open mic night, so she was posted up there.
Sure was. Mm-hmm. Anyone else doing anything?
Trying to think.
Garai and Kelvin are just wiping the floor with people with arm wrestle.
Yeah, are there any other party games? Got like some dice going on, some beer pong. What else is going on over here?
I mean, there's definitely dice games happening all over the place.
All right.
There's card games. There's all sorts of stuff going on.
I will attempt to engage in some dice.
I will.
I believe they said they're joining.
Oh,
Ah,
Your mic is extremely low.
Oh,
sometimes it's low. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's nice and loud.
how I know
There.
Nice. Okay.
to join.
You two work your way over to a table of dice being rolled. How much you wagering?
Let me see. I'll wager a gold piece.
is that kind of dice, huh?
Is it? I don't know.
Those are high dice.
But I mean, a gold piece is not insubstantial amongst the normal populace.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Okay. Both of you roll me a d20.
That probably supposed to be blind. Let me do that again.
Yeah, no, you're good. It doesn't need to be blind. You can see what you roll.
That's true.
My HUD is being dumb. There we go.
Oh.
Oh. Shit.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, you both roll well. And split the pot. You each gain 5 gold pieces.
Yay.
Nice.
And as you do, yeah, so you can both roll me diplomacy checks.
Get that out of the way.
Now these will be blind. Okay. While you're rolling, you overhear some people complaining, and they're complaining, just being like, "Ugh, can you believe that Cyclops and all those leadsmiths in here now? They're staying here on the top floor. Like, they're kind of bad news. Viewslog, like, he went out yesterday into the Expanse, went into the Western Ravage all alone, gone all day, back right before sundown. What's he doing? I don't trust those guys. Can't trust them as I can throw them."
Did you say views log or something?
Viewslog. Mm-hmm.
Presumably the Cyclops' name?
You have heard that name referred to the Cyclops before, in fact, yes. Mm-hmm. Vewslog.
I would like to just casually add, has anyone left into the Expanse and not come back?
Well, plenty, yeah. Dangerous out there. That's where the slugs live.
And that was Viewslog. They said they saw him like go out to the Expanse in the morning, come back by night. They have no idea what he was doing out there.
Yep.
Interesting. Let's ask them if that's something he does every day. Maybe we should like tail him if he does it tomorrow.
And they go, no, just yes. They only got into town a couple days ago. Couple, 3 days ago, maybe. Yesterday was in town, or 2 days ago was in town. Yesterday, gone all day. Don't understand. It's not a place where you just go by yourself. Like I said, slugs are out there.
Yeah, are they like graboids? Is that what we're talking about?
Settle down there, Kevin Bacon.
We shall see, I'm guessing.
Could one of you ask about the slugs, please?
Yeah, what are the slugs?
And is there anything out there that they are attracted to or circle around?
Redheads, weirdly.
They go, circle around. Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Y'all are new to town. You've never been out there, have you? Okay, the slugs.
Try not to.
The slugs are the slugs of the wastes. It's what the kind of like the leader of these guys kind of thought was poetic. But he's a giant, so that's the best he could come up with. it's kind of like a bunch of mutant giants and ogres and all sorts of like bad rabble. They try and get in here every so often. We fire the maw at them and they splinter off.
So they're just like bandits?
I don't know if I call them bandits. It's more like they
It's just wildlife, right?
Oh no, not wildlife. It's a cohesive group, a gang of giants and ogres and giant folk, mutants. They all kind of, I think they kind of just want the gunworks. We're pretty good position here, and if you were living out in the wastes, wouldn't you want a safe place to be? But they don't like ask. They just want to come in and kill everyone.
But that's illegal.
And he just kind of does this.
Does the Cyclops take anything with him? Or is he just empty-handed when he goes and comes back?
I mean, nothing that stuck out to me. Wasn't looking too hard. I just thought, well, that's one dead Cyclops. And it wasn't. Weird.
Suspicious.
That's a word.
I'll probably have to roll deception for this. But what I'd like to ask is anybody, we were coming into town and off in the distance we saw like kind of like a rider and it looked like he had like a
Blockhead or something?
Yeah, kind of like a metallic head. You guys ever see anything like that around here?
Yeah, you could just ask the question.
Smells real bad.
They're like, oh, that sounds pretty fucked up. Some weird shit in the desert, man. Weird shit in the Spellscar.
I feel like I'm talking like Lebowski. Alright, thank you.
Fuckers came in and took my rug.
Really held the place together.
Theoretically, if they're gone tomorrow, we could search their room.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Those are two possibilities.
We didn't fight with the Cyclops, did we? In the ball, like what was our interaction with him? I can't
Just
remember.
security and a
He was head of security, and then on the way down, a bunch of security were going to try to fight us until Jacksonius talks him down brilliantly.
But we
So
didn't.
we're not.
Self-reflection.
Yeah.
You never actually interacted with him. He kept on speaking to the head of the party that you were trying to get.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a safe assumption that that was.
He was
related.
smirking at us.
Yeah, he's on to us. Is what I'm.
Oh, yeah.
We
Yeah, he
can't
knew right away.
Yeah, we just can't go have a conversation with him.
Yeah, well, we're on to him.
You're onto each other.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that kind of relationship.
So
Game is afoot.
yeah, so those are some options between following him out and checking his room, and obviously we don't want to split the party.
No, and honestly, I'd rather not fuck up a situation in a heavily fortified kill circle with a bunch of people with guns.
This is also like big shield marshal territory.
Yeah, I mean, we are good with the Duchess, but we don't have any proof of that either.
Right.
And there's no way of deciphering which shield marshals are clean or which ones are
What?
dirty.
No,
But we could
there
just
is.
tell them.
You,
Could we
you
not
know,
just tell them?
You know if they have like you know, some form of Loveless badge on them. You know, you can kind of tell.
Yeah, she didn't give us anything like a trinket or a fucking letter or anything, did she?
Nope.
But we can just tell them.
They won't believe us.
It's the truth. Why would that not be an issue?
Oh, a sweet summer child.
Oh, is it summer? I forgot the word.
Father, you must wear your sunblock.
I shall go purchase some.
I will.
SPF 700.
I will point out that the whole reason that you're out here and doing this, because every so often we need to redirect. Do you recall why you're out here?
Dr. Parnassus.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're out here after Parsis.
Parsis. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
What got you out here in the first place? Like, not to here specifically. What got you out to the dead spot?
The guy that was about to get
The fat guy.
You're looking for Loveless. Loveless has disappeared, like, a while ago, right?
But our lead is Parsis.
We could ask about Loveless. He might.
That's how we got to the dead spot because, we got to the dead spot because of Wrangle. Wrangle told us to go to the dead spot where we found Dash. After we found Dash and had that fight, we suspect, or no, Parsis was behind the subsequent attack. So that's the next, like, link in the chain, right?
Yeah.
But like you said, Loveless has disappeared. We're in around a bunch of shield marshals too.
So yeah, I mean
she could be hiding anywhere here.
So worth asking about Loveless also.
Well, you could also, I mean, you've also learned about, like, there's weird stuff happening at these towers. You could go, like, try and speak to the towers. You learned that the garrison commander of the gunworks, Loy Aiton, is not acting upon these weird things happening.
That's what I thought.
You have a couple different leads here, because there is the views log thing as well.
Didn't one of us have some backstory about Loy Aiton?
I don't think so.
Never mind.
That seems like going to the tower, finding, like, maybe they're looking to hire a private group to take care of something if the shield marshals won't.
Ooh, side quest.
That's true.
Corporate espionage.
Yeah, I think the tower might be our best bet without, like, going out into the desert after the sky in the morning. I mean, we could do both. We could check in. It's still day. Night has not hit yet.
Exactly.
So I say we could check the tower. If nothing leads us from there, I'd say we follow the guy in the morning. Check out the market tonight, and then keep an eye on our one-eyed friend. And then go out in the morning. Follow him. I think follow up on 2 leads at once.
So you could go to the Tower of Metallurgy, Tower of Engineering, or, well, Tower, the Mavrovagug Tower, not accessible really, or the Garrison Tower. There's many towers, so.
Should we just go with the closest one?
But there was one that was having, like, weird, suspicious problems that no one's looking into, correct?
That's both towers, actually. Or both the Metallurgy and Engineering towers, but not the Garrison Tower.
I think engineering first, because that's like clockwork, and that's what we've been dealing with a lot lately. It's just
I think clockwork stuff. Yeah, I think more of our party is more familiar with that. Yeah.
With engineering?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
To Engineering Tower, I guess we go.
Indeed. Oh, did we want to? No, that's at night in the market. I was like, let's sell the stuff quick and then never mind. But that's not tonight.
Yeah. maybe this is where we will pick up next time, for I know it is late and one of us is on the verge of collapsing at the very least. So, yeah, hold on to that thought, and we'll get it going. We'll start off at the Tower of Engineering in 2 weeks. Okay.
Alright. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Everyone have a good night. We'll see you in a couple.
Take care of yourself.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Got it.